The Bible Treasury, New Series. N1. A monthly magazine of papers on scriptural subjects. Volume 21, Article 12. 1896 and 1897. Himself he cannot save. Mark 15 verse 31. It is not usual to mock at the sufferings of the dying. Even if it were a criminal, ordinary feelings of humanity would preserve men from such a crime. But this was the Son of God, and thus a different matter altogether. Man had no regard for him, nothing was too bad to heap upon his holy head. We only see fully what man is when we look at the cross. In earlier dispensations, he had violated his conscience, and broken God's law, and thus something of his wickedness was told out, but when we look at the cross of Christ, the tale is complete. Had there been a spark of goodness in the natural heart, the coming into the world of the Blessed One would have brought it out. He came in love and lowly grace, not in judgment. His hand no thunder bore. But man was not to be won. He rose up in rebellion and dared to lay his impious hands on the Son of God. And now he was upon the cross, and men were mocking his dying agonies. But who? Was it ignorant and depraved? Nay, but the chief priests and scribes, the representatives of religion and learning in their day. What a tale this tells! How it refutes the notion that, given favorable circumstances, education, etc., man is reclaimable. Nay, dear reader, man is corrupt at the core, he is utterly ruined before God. Have you learned this, and bowed to it in his holy presence? Mark what they said. He saved others. They knew his acts of power. He had cleansed the leper, cast out demons, and raised the dead. But they thought that now he was bereft, that his power was gone. Himself he cannot save. This was false. He was the mighty God, the Creator and upholder of all, there was no cannot with him. One word from him and the whole pack of foes might have been consigned to the pit. If Elijah called down fire from heaven upon his enemies, could not Elijah's Lord? But they were blind to his glory. They knew not that it was Jehovah who had visited his people, though they might have known from both his actions and words, had they had eyes to see and ears to hear. It was guilty ignorance. But, oh, dear reader, there was a sense in which it was true, himself he cannot save. He had come into the world to save sinners, to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself, and to accomplish this he must suffer and die. Naught else would have availed. It is a lie of Satan that the incarnation of Christ was sufficient for the redemption and raising of fallen humanity. Blood must flow, his blood, or atonement could never be made. Had he saved himself, salvation from eternal woe would have been impossible for any. Love led him on, the awful cup has been drained, the dreadful baptism has been endured, divine justice is satisfied, God has been glorified. Christ is no longer straitened. Salvation is now free to all. Mercy flows like a flood. Peace is proclaimed. Pardon is offered. He saved others. So the Magdalene can testify, the thief on the cross, Saul of Tarsus, and millions more besides. The same Savior avails for you, will you trust him? Oh, turn not away in the day of visitation. The Savior who died is risen again and is at the right hand of God. Him that cometh he will not cast out. He has saved others and is ready and willing to save you. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Romans 10 verse 13.